DHT.
I had just gotten to my room at the hotel where I was staying in New York. It was a four-star hotel downtown where I had been many times. The place was called the Golden Starlight. They showed you a pamphlet when you checked in. You take a look at it and it's shaped like a strange figure. I kind of put my finger on it, but the gentleman behind the counter says that what the ancient people call around here the Red Star. Very interesting, yes. Well, here's your room number 69. Oh, and by the way, all rooms have our special cable box with all the channels you may need. Thanks again. I take a quick look at the roof, and I see a glass dome. It looks like to be over the bed, like a skylight. This is a strange hotel indeed. Let's hope I can get some sleep. As I try and get some shut-eye, which I'm not able to, I keep looking at the hotel skylight and seeing this red light beep. The reflection of the skylight, it really starts to bother me. So I stare at it for a little longer, then I start to drift off to this other place. But once I open my eyes back up, I'm standing in front of the hotel with the soda in my hand, or which I thought was a soda, turned out to be a spray can with some big bold letters and some slurs, a certain group of people that protect us day in and day out. Well, off-duty policeman stopped by and said, "Hello, sir. Is there something I can help you with?" Well, yes, I was just in my room, sir. Do you know what I mean? Look, sir, this hotel has been burnt down. Can't you tell? Open your eyes. It's half standing. There with the spray can, still going, unknowing he was spraying the cop's boots. You don't know up from down, it seems like, son. We need to take you into the station for questioning. Well, see, you're the only one who's able to get up here this closed road. So, how you, in just a few miles, there's an old 1880 housing development. For them, it was a historic site. Now it's gone, sir. Now I need to take you in for this. Please no, as they are about to put me in handcuffs. I jerk and my arm free and run away from the officer. Yells, "Freeze!" But I keep running. I already have warrants on my name. But the way I know he can't chase me because he's built like Lizzo. Then I realize I have some Hershey Kisses in my pocket. I throw them on the ground behind me while running, and it worked. He stopped and picked them up. So I run back to my hotel, my adrenaline running, the most alive I've felt in years. I'm seeing the world more clear now, seeing how it is. The worn down building seems oddly familiar. He finds himself back in his room. There is some water bottles, of broken light fixtures, a sink that leaks. Unlucky, the bed is soft, and there's a warm blanket with some cigarette holes in it for these cold nights. But when I get slightly almost asleep, I start to hear these rumblings around the building begin to wobble. I slap myself in the face, and I want to know if this is my head or if this is real. Now my face hurts, but the building is still wobbling. I start to run to safety, a place for cover. I hear something that sounds like grunts and groans. I wonder if it's the old building, but to give way. I wait a couple of minutes, and there's nothing I can do, but it seems I have to stop now. But I hear a loud banging noises, so I smell something horrible, like a dead rotten fish eggs. I almost vomit, but I hold back. Then I hear what seems to be like a frightening train slamming through into bricks. The sound appears to be getting closer and closer, as if almost it's looking for the nearest living thing. I don't know what to do. As I say, I'm stuck here. A red-haired giant slams through the ceiling. A dust creates a cloud of soot and begin unable to see for a minute. As the dust clears, standing over me is a 600-pound, 15-foot red-haired giant. He quickly grabs me by one hand and runs off into the forest. Deep, a fire is already lit atop an altar-like structure. the kind where you use to sacrifice animals on. They get closer to the altar. The giant quickly sprints and starts to walk as if in a trance of sorts. I wonder what's going to happen to me. And this is the end. He tosses me aside and walks toward the altar, puts the knife, then puts it in his hand and reveals the knife. And he says some words and slices his hand and then fills the blood up into a bowl, then pours the bowl down the altar. And the blood begins to form a picture of sorts. The fire starts to burn a greenish blue color. Then you hear some voices come from the fire. Then all of a sudden, it clicks in my head. A vivid imagination starts to come to my mind, not of the present, but of the distant past. It's almost as if I'm awakening for the first time. That's why the red-haired giant grabs me, and just as he's about to slam me down on the altar, I strain to gather his guttering noises as the giant suddenly freezes in his tracks and puts me down. And then the giant speaks to me back in these guttural tones and tells me and reminds me of who I am and reminds me of where I'm from and what I'm here to do. He strikes the ground. He says a few last words to me, hands over an ancient parchment, and the ground swallows him back up, never to be seen it from again. And now I know what I must do. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe.